Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Enjoy learning computer science. To watch my previous videos, watch my YouTube channel. To get notified for my new videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Enjoy learning computer science. This video is part 8 of computer networks. Infrared waves. So infrared transmission uses infrared light to send data. Okay, so the type of transmission that uses infrared light to send data is known as infrared transmission. So in short, we can say this transmission uses infrared light to communicate. Now the data is transmitted through air, okay, and it can propagate, it can travel in the open space. However, it cannot pass or penetrate through the walls of the room. And example is you can remote AC remote or TV remote, any type of handheld remote control. And this infrared is an example of short range wireless network. The speed of the infrared varies from 2.4 kbps to 16 mbps. Okay, so infrared transmission uses infrared light to send data, and the data is transmitted through air, but it cannot penetrate through the walls of the room. Okay, example is TV remote and AC remote, the remote controls. Now the advantages of infrared transmission is it is a secure medium of transmitting data, and it is also cheap. It is secure as well as it is cheap. The disadvantages, as you know, it cannot penetrate through wall, and it can work only for short distances, and it is affected by noise, heat and distance. Okay, and it is also a line of sight transmission. So information passed to one device is not leaked to other device. Since it is a line of sight transmission, that is an advantage that can be considered as an advantage, also a disadvantage sometimes. Okay, so infrared transmission uses infrared light to send and receive data. Satellite. The satellite links are used for very long distance wireless communication, which may range from intercity to intercontinental. So this transmission from the earth to a satellite is known as uplink. Okay, transmission from the earth to a satellite is known as uplink, and transmission from a satellite to the earth is known as downlink. Okay, so I repeat, transmission from the earth to a satellite is known as uplink. Transmission from a satellite to the earth is known as downlink. When the frequency is greater than 3 GHz, the transmission is known as microwave. Okay, so satellite is a special type of microwave transmission medium only. It provides various types of services like transmitting fax, then voice data, video, email, and many other internet applications. In the satellite communication, an earth station has a satellite dish which functions as an antenna to transmit and receive data from satellites. Okay, so as I told, when data is transmitted from an earth station to a satellite, it's known as uplink, and when transmission takes place from a satellite to an earth station, it is known as downlink. Advantages of satellite communication is the area coverage through satellite transmission is quite large, and the laying and maintenance of cable is difficult and expensive, and this is where the satellite proves to be the best alternative. Now heavy usage of intercontinental traffic makes the satellite commercially attractive. So satellites can cover large areas of the earth, and this is particularly useful for very sparsely populated areas. Now the disadvantages, technological limitations are there to use all these very big kind of satellite platforms. Then overcrowding of available bandwidths because of the low antenna gains, and high investment cost and insurance cost required, and high atmospheric losses above 30 GHz limit carrier frequencies. These are the advantages and disadvantages of satellite communication. Networking devices. There are different networking devices: modem, RJ45 connector, Ethernet card, it is otherwise known as NIC, router, switch, gateway, Wi-Fi card, etc. We'll see all these networking devices in detail. First one is modem. The short form of modulator, demodulator is only modem. Okay, so modem is nothing but modulator, demodulator. So a modem is a computer peripheral. Peripherals means all the hardwares that are connected to the computer, that is known as peripherals, right? So a modem is a computer peripheral that allows us to connect and communicate with each other computers via a telephone line. Okay, so why do we need modem? That's what we are going to see. An ordinary telephone line cannot carry digital information, right? So a modem changes the digital data from the computer into analog. So the main function of a modem is to convert a digital signal to analog signal and again analog to digital. That is the main function of a modem. So a modem changes the digital data from the computer into analog data, a format that can be carried by telephone lines, right? Telephone lines can carry only analog. In a similar manner, the modem receiving the call then changes the analog signal back into digital signal that the computer can understand. So this shift of digital data into analog and analog to digital allows the computers to communicate with each other. So this is called modulation, demodulation, that is the transformation of signals from analog to digital and digital to analog. So the main function of a modem is to convert analog to digital and digital to analog. Okay, so it can be carried by telephone lines, and other side the computer can understand the digital form also. So with the modem and a standard telephone line, you can send faxes to the office or important customers, whatever it is. Okay, so modem is a peripheral, is a computer peripheral that allows us to connect and communicate with other computers via telephone line. Now modems come in two varieties: internal modems and external modems. Internal modems are the modems that are fixed within the computer, inside the computer, and external modems are connected externally to a computer like other peripheral devices. Now RJ45 connector is also a networking device. RJ45 means registered jack 45. Okay, RJ45 stands for registered jack 45. It is an 8-wire connector and it is commonly used to connect computers on the LANs, local area networks, especially internet. Okay, so this is a standard type of connector for network cables, especially in LANs and internets. And RJ45 connector, it looks like exactly like the standard. Have you seen the telephone connector? It will look exactly more or less same. And RJ45 connectors are used to connect computers in Ethernet LANs. So RJ45 is registered jack 45. It is an 8-wire connector and it is used to connect computers on the local area networks and Ethernets. Ethernet card. So Ethernet card is otherwise known as NIC card, that is network interface card. Okay, so any computer which has to be a part of a computer network must have an NIC, that is a network interface card installed in it. So a computer can communicate with other computers on a network with the help of NIC only. So nowadays in most of the PCs and laptops, whatever it is, NIC is an integral part of the motherboard itself. Okay, and this NIC card, it is a hardware device which helps in the connection of nodes within the network. Okay, so Ethernet card is also known as network card or network adapter or network interface card. It allows computers to communicate over a computer network. So on the Ethernet card, a physical address of each communicating computer is mentioned. That is, each NIC attached to workstation will have a unique number that is known as MAC address. Okay. So Ethernet card is also known as network card, network adapter or NIC, and it is a device that enables a computer to connect to a network and communicate.